he's using the same strategy, and now he's copying the strategy from his enemy.
100%.
So right there is when
weakness.
you show weakness. You're showing that you're not prepared. When you're in a battle, like in business, you can't just be reacting to life. You gotta you have to have a plan. You have to anticipate what your enemy is going to do. Welcome to the King's Code Podcast. Welcome to the King's Code Podcast. For the last 2 weeks, we've seen one war in the news over and over again. And that's the war between Kendrick and Drake. And today we have an expert in Drake and Kendrick. Welcome to the King's Code Podcast, Alejandro Velazquez.
How you doing? How you doing? Good to be here. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's been a crazy battle.
Why are you an expert?
It's just because I love the rap beef that we're having. Kendrick versus Drake, probably two of the best artists of our generation, going at it lyrically. It's just crazy. It's been, drop after drop. They've been just anticipating every single time. Now it's over, but we were waiting for it. We always waited every single night. We're like, when is Drake gonna drop? When is Kendrick gonna drop? So it was just such a great rap beef.
All right, so for my audience that doesn't know who Drake and Kendrick is,
maybe
right?
Kendrick.
Drake is one of the biggest rappers in the game. The guy has won multiple awards, fill up stadiums. You've seen Drake how many times?
Like 3 times
Three
already.
times.
Madison Square Garden, went
Very
to Buffalo.
expensive tickets. Very expensive tickets. This
Very
guy's
expensive.
making billions of dollars. I think he's a billionaire already.
Yeah, probably.
So for my background, if you're around my age, Drake is probably bigger than Tupac, he's bigger than Biggie, bigger
100%.
than, he's made all those numbers. He's like actually tapping into Michael Jackson's numbers, right?
Yeah, he is. And
As
he's
an
still
artist.
going. So it's just, he hasn't even stopped yet.
And Drake is an artist, is again very successful, but he's only a hip hop artist.
Yeah,
he's
he is.
not a pop star. He's not a global phenomenon. Drake is a global phenomenon. Kendrick is more of a rapper. He's a lyricist.
He's really respected in the game. People always give him his props. Always talk about they always respected him, but this time that they were like, can people really keep up? And I think Kendrick showed that no one could really stop his lyricism. No one could really out rap him. And that was one of the most exciting things about this beef, was who is going to out rap who is going to be the lyricist, who's going to come on top, who has the better, word flow, who has the better wordplay in the situation.
So in this podcast, what I want to do is I want to emphasize on the competition. Okay, I want to
100%.
bring out what competition does to a man. I want to dissect how both rappers kind of went into each other, because I think this could be a valuable podcast, even if you don't follow Drake, even if you don't follow Kendrick. Just a way to see how competition brings out the best and the worst in people.
100%.
Two is for you to be aware that everything is marketing. I mean, these guys are marketing geniuses. I mean, in both cases, they've made more money in the last 2 weeks than the past couple of years with their albums and the music.
They did not drop albums. They didn't drop anything. They didn't drop tours. They were dropping singles. They were dropping 6-minute songs, diss tracks, on top of, getting personal, on top of anticipation. Did they have to promote it once? Did they have to, say that we're going on tour? No, it was all the anticipation. It was all the marketing behind who's going to win, Kendrick or Drake. And it was just all the fans promoting this. When is Drake gonna drop? When is Kendrick? Is Kendrick gonna respond? Is Drake scared? It was all pushed by the fans, and they didn't have to market it one bit. And they made Kendrick went #1 on the song that he dissed Drake with.
And then the third point in here in this podcast I want to make is the point of tapping into the trends. Seeing what's trending, having those conversations, connection. You and I, we talk about music all the time. So finding something in common. So I get a lot of fathers that tell me, how do I connect with my son? How do I connect with my daughter? Well, you have to follow some of the trends. You have to have this conversation. You have to know about these things that are going on, because that's how you can relate. I mean, I do love hip hop. I love rap music. I always had that love for him, but we found something that we have in common.
Yeah.
And then we connected, and that's when we were able to talk about it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into it. So how did it start?
So it all started from, J. Cole. I actually went to the concert with J. Cole and Drake, and it all started when J. Cole claimed that his, 3 artists in this generation that are at the top is him, Drake, and Kendrick.
Called the Big Three.
Kendrick called first-person shooter mode, and he called it Big Three. We're the Big Three. And then Kendrick dropped a song on Metro Boomin's album, and he was like, there is no Big Three. It's just me.
All right, so let's look at that, for example. So the rap beef started when they said, hey, we're the top three. We're the top dogs here, right?
J. Cole wanted to pay homage. He said, like, me and Drake are doing our stuff. We created an album. Like, we did songs together. He just paid homage to Kendrick. He was like, look, if I think that there's best three, it's going to be me, Kendrick, and Drake.
And then what happened is that Kendrick says, no, I don't want to be amongst the top three. There's no even in this game. I want to be top dog. I want to be number one. I want to make sure that the crown goes on me. So he went ahead and he was in a track with Future, Metro Boomin, and he went ahead and said, there is no big three. There's only big me. So whoever wants it could get it. Right?
Yep.
And then what happened? Then who dropped next?
Yeah, and then after Drake responded.
No,
and then,
he didn't.
Sorry,
no,
after that,
before that, he didn't respond. Who dropped next?
It was J. Cole. I forgot about J. Cole. J. Cole dropped, and he was getting a little. I know that you liked that. You said that you liked it. For me, I saw through J. Cole. The moment that I heard it, I said, I know he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to go in on him. He's scared. I told you. I said he doesn't want it. He doesn't want it. He was giving him light jabs. He was talking about
So I'm a big Jay-Z fan, and I know Jay-Z kind of mentor J. Cole, so I know he has that flow. So I look at J. Cole similar as I looked at Nas.
And he referenced a lot of JC references. He referenced his album and just like some of the disses that he was doing. He did like pay homage to Jay-Z as well.
I thought it was a great track.
You thought it was great. For me, I was like, this is not what I want. J. Cole, you got to come harder than that. He's a lyricist. I saw right through J. Cole and I said, yeah, he doesn't want to smoke.
And then he went ahead and he apologized.
He went ahead, went on tour, and he was like, guys, I'm bigger than this. He's like, I don't want no beef. Yeah, and I told you exactly. He didn't want to say something that would ruin the relationship between him and Kendrick because he loves Kendrick. He says, he literally said, like, that was my big homie. He was like, I don't want to disrespect him. He was like, and he saw right through it because he knew that he was like, Kendrick is about to go nuclear. If I say something wrong,
so I was disappointed. I was disappointed because I wanted to see the battle.
I would love to see that battle.
I wanted
two
to have
lyricists going at it.
Have the three of them going after. So when this battle came on, the first time I had J. Cole as the top. So I was excited. I said, let him get into the game.
I thought it was going to be a little like J. Cole, Kendrick, and then Drake was going to support him, but it wasn't that at all.
No, so he went in tour. And he apologized. He was out. A lot of people said, you know what? He's a punk. He's not cut out for this. But that's the hip hop era. You have to be competitive. So I think.
And he actually said he was talking. He had some good points. He was talking about how the media is always gonna push it. How the media is never gonna be enough. So he was just like, no matter how hard I diss him, and no matter how personal I get, the media's always gonna want more. The social media's always gonna push this agenda. Who's better? Who's this? And he was like, at the end of the day, I'm so proud of my accomplishments that I have. He was like, I pay homage to my brother. He was like, and I want nothing for love and prosperity for all the artists.
So again, going back to the guys who follow me because they probably had no idea who J. Cole is. All right. So J. Cole is also a big rapper. He's a lyricist. He's come up. So it's top three guys. So imagine 3 rappers, all right?
3 rappers on the top. Yeah.
Going in. So now there's down to 2 rappers only.
Yeah.
Okay. So J. Cole said, hey, I don't want no smoke.
He's done.
I don't want anything. I'm out.
Out.
He said, if you want to hit me up, I'll take it, but I don't want anything.
Yeah.
Okay. So then from the outside, fans were disappointed. From the outside, we wanted the blood because that's what happens. It's like the gladiators. We want the blood. We want the fight. We want the energy, right?
Yeah.
But he realized that it was gonna bring out a version of him that he didn't like.
He didn't like, and he said he was like, I'm too like mature for that. And one thing that fans now seeing the entire picture is that he was really looking at the bigger picture and said, there's nothing going to come out of this that's good for me. I'm only going to getting pushed to something that I don't want to do. And then he was like, and at the end, it's going to maybe ruin a relationship that I want.
You know what? That's what I took out from this. Respect to a man that says, you know what? I could choose my battles.
Exactly.
Nobody's going to push me to fight.
That's exactly what
I am not here for entertainment. It goes back to the gladiator theme, right? When he says, are you not entertained, right? Are you not entertained? So I think like a lot of people are doing things for entertainment.
Yeah, he didn't want to be somebody's puppet. He
said, no, I want to keep my peace. My peace is more important than what you guys think about me. So you got to respect that.
Great takeaway, yep.
So now he put a song out. He retracted it.
Yeah, he took it off his album.
So then who came afterwards?
And then it was Drake. And then Drake was like, you know what? He came in with the diss track going at it. And
what was it? Push-ups, right? Push-ups.
No, it was it was push-ups and no, I think it was it was Taylor. It was Taylor.
No, it was push-up first. See, you're the expert.
How
do I know the timeline better than you?
Because it got leaked. This is how it happened. First, it was a leaked track why I'm an expert is because too many things got leaked at once. It was everything all over the place. So Drake didn't want to publicly put out the song. So that's what Kendrick was saying after. We'll get into that after. But he says one thing you guys don't know about the industry is that they leak stuff on purpose. So he was saying how Drake was too scared to release it himself. So he leaked it to somebody in his team that uploaded to YouTube. So on YouTube, he was talking about how 21 Savage, a really good friend of Drake, how 21 Savage is better than him, how SZA is better than him, how Travis, he was talking about.
But what was the core message that Drake put in the first diss track about Kendrick? And then, what was the theme of that diss track?
It was a theme that he was like, and then the one that was getting the most traction was the Metro Boomin, because Metro Boomin, if you guys don't know, Metro Boomin is the producer that created the first song with Future and
Don't confuse
Kendrick.
the guys, okay? Don't confuse. Don't worry about Metro Boomin. All right, you follow me so far. Let me just take him. Drake versus Kendrick. Right. Drake dropped a song calling him short.
Yeah.
Right. That was the whole point of the song. The song is size 7.
Size 7. Yeah.
How are you a king with a size 7 shoe?
Yeah. Like, don't talk to me if you have a size.
So then again, Drake throws a song, call him short. Mm-hmm. You're not the best rapper. Everybody is blowing you up for nothing. And then what happened after that? It was silence.
And then it was nothing. And everyone was like, wow, that was a 10 out of 10 song. You know, he called him short. He came after him. He said, all these artists, you know, got you wiped down, everything. And you know, for a little bit, Kendrick was silent.
Then Drake came out with another song.
Which was it was a spin-off. It was weird. That was
a good move.
It was weird. I'll admit, as a Drake fan, it was weird. He used AI. You're a fan.
I'm a fan because he used AI.
My dad loves ChatGPT. He loves all of that.
Let's do this. He used AI and he used Tupac.
Yeah.
And he used Snoop Dogg.
And then
it was very creative.
It was creative because he gave like himself like a little like layup when he was like, hey, Snoop Dogg gave him the mic, and then Drake was like, he took the mic from Snoop Dogg. But it was all along. He made the lyrics for Snoop Dogg.
So that's the creative part.
I'll give it to him. It was creative, but it was weird.
Yeah. So I love that he actually used AI creative. So a lot of people were not happy with it because he put Tupac and Snoop in the middle. But it was just for fun. It was more jabbing.
And then
one thing that he said in that song is that you cannot hide. You gotta come out.
He told Kendrick. He said
taunting him.
He was because
poking him.
He dropped his first song on Push-Ups, called him short, the size 7, all of that. Nothing from Kendrick. After he released this song, doing a little fun, you know, using ChatGPT, using AI, you know, doing a little fun with it. But the main message was like, he was like, Kendrick, don't try to hide now. But little did we know, Kendrick was not hiding. Kendrick was like, I'm waiting for you to poke the bear. And when he did, he said, don't mention.
Hell broke loose. Because the next track was crazy.
He dropped and he said, don't mention Pac in your tracks. He was like, don't disrespect Snoop. He was like, I don't care if it's a 20v1. He was mentioning that he had ghostwriters, that he used to use AI against him. And he said, I'll smack any single one of your team. It's a 1v1.
What was the name of that song?
Euphoria.
So
Euphoria started off, it was so calm.
It was crazy.
It was Kendrick.
Crazy.
It was Kendrick. It was a Kendrick aura that he started off. Just Kendrick being there. We're like, you know, maybe it's not that. And then bars.
So the main message from Euphoria. So you know, the average song right now in the music industry is about less than 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. So Kendrick put a 6 minute, so like 2 songs. So it's really 3 songs.
Really 3 songs.
There's no chorus. There's no bridge. So it's like rap after rap. So it's like 3 songs in one.
Yep.
The main message that I got of that. So then Drake calls him short. Then Drake calls him a bad father. He calls him fake, that he doesn't know what it's like to be black. he's just constantly poke him in a way that is like, hey, like that's
He's getting a little more personal. He's getting personal. He was talking
did
about.
Did Drake get personal on push-ups about his wife?
He didn't. He was talking about his family, but it wasn't really like a direct.
I think he
wasn't
did.
a direct.
He did talk about his wife a little bit.
He did. He talked about his wife, but it wasn't like as personal. Like Kendrick was really breaking down. He was talking about like, you're not black enough. He was like, you want to get all these features to make sure that you're black enough. He was like, he doesn't even want him say the N-word. He was like, in my eyes, you're white. Nobody in this industry likes you. He was talking about, he was like, everyone around you just takes your money.
What got me here,
he was going,
what got me was
many
like,
bars.
you don't know like what it's like to be a father. You don't know how to pray with your son. You don't know how to guide your son. You don't know how to teach. So that as a man, I'm looking at this like, whoa, this is.
And
like,
that wasn't even, that was the teaser for the song. And that was the teasing.
But see, that's where I'm talking about. When you start looking at battles, is especially in rap battles, you gotta go personal. You gotta cut deep.
And you know what it was?
Like go in a way that the other person doesn't expect you to.
I really think that Kendrick was really strategic about it because he laid out everything that he wanted to. But after he took that angle that Drake knew that he had a soft spot for, was Adonis, was his son. And that's where he knew he had to take that angle.
You can talk shit about me all you want, but you talk shit about my family, there's a whole different person gonna come out.
And then after
that, Drake didn't respond.
And then he didn't respond. He dropped again.
Kendrick dropped again.
Maybach,
so again, just for the audience listening.
And then he was like
a feature from Kendrick to start the whole thing. Drake dropped 2 songs, and Kendrick came in and dropped 2 songs.
You forgot about J. Cole. You already forgot.
You forgot. J. Cole's out.
J. Cole's out.
It doesn't count.
But yes, and then after.
But what did he call him on the other one, the 619 or 616 in LA?
Yeah, that was that's Kendrick's song that he put on Twitter after. He didn't release it officially. He put it on YouTube, and then somebody uploaded it to YouTube.
But what was the message on that?
And the message was he was talking about how he was like, oh, he was coming after personally. He was like, when you come after my family, he was like, that's when I get personal. That was kind of like the sign.
But he started seeding doubt. He said there is people in your organization.
And then he was like, he was getting personal. He was like, once you get personal with me, I'm gonna get personal with you. Then he said, and he said, there's a rat in your camp that is feeding me all this information. He was like, they want to see you fail. That's what he said. He said, even your own team says this was coming to you. And he was like, and you deserved it.
This is part of the
art of war. And this was the craziest thing.
The Art of War, right from the book of the Art of War.
From the book. And literally the craziest thing was the glove that his dad wore. And then after, the cover art after, with the one after that you'll see, he even had like the cover arts, even from the cover arts to the lyrics. Kendrick knew what he was doing. He was there. He was trying to get in his head every little way that he could. And you know, like as Drake, you know, he's looking around his team. He's like, you know, who's here for me? And he was like, none of them's there for you. If you were a real, you know, if you're a real person, you would know who's there on your side. He was like, they're all there for the money. They're all there for the clout, for, you know, the name.
That's a strategic part of how to disable your enemy, is put doubt in his house.
Exactly.
That's straight from the Art of War.
So he went personal with his family. Then after he went for his team, then he was talking about, you know, him as a person, that you're not black enough, that you're not, you know, a good father. And then he's having, you know, Drake is having second thoughts. When he's clouded in his head, then he's going to go into that booth and, you know, say everything. And once Drake shows that, you know, anger and fear, and that's like, you know, I want to kill you, I want that mentality, Kendrick knew. He was like, right there.
Got him. Yeah.
He got him.
It's a strategy. It's like, get your enemy emotional, so he starts making emotional mistakes.
Yep.
Because that's what happens. So
that's exactly what Kendrick did.
Kendrick,
he made him emotional.
Drake dropped the song. And what did he say in that song?
And Drake dropped, and this was the song that, this was the, I believe it's 5 minutes. It was a 5-minute song. Family Matters. And Family Matters was talking about his wife and allegations that he beats his wife. Allegations that he didn't want to marry his wife because he got engaged with her in 2015, and says you still don't want to do that. He was talking about how
his son light skin,
and then he was talking about that Dave Free, his one of his managers, close friends of his, is that the one of his sons might be the managers, and he was talking about. He was getting a real person.
Yeah, he got a real person. It's kind of like he wanted to cut.
He wanted that.
He wanted to. But I think the beat was good.
The beat was good.
The flow was great.
It was amazing. It got personal at the end. I like the last track. So
Like-
for
like-
you guys don't
like-
know, it was 3 songs. The
Same
first
thing.
song
He did the
was
same
exact thing.
same exact strategy as enemy. So he's already losing at that point.
He's playing
He's already
catch up.
behind.
He's playing catch up.
Because now he's using the same strategy, and now he's copying the strategy from his enemy. So
100%.
right there is when
Show weakness.
you show weakness. You're showing that you're not prepared. When you're in a battle, like in business, you can't just be reacting to life. You gotta you have to have a plan. You have to anticipate what your enemy is going to do. So the first
Exactly.
rule is have your enemy underestimate you. If your enemy underestimate you, you could win. The second is put doubt in him with the people that are closest to him, and that's what he did. He put doubt in close people too. And then the third is have him react, be in the
Emotional.
offensive as opposed to being defensive as opposed to be offensive.
Yeah.
Because then he dropped as soon as the same night that Kendrick dropped, that Drake dropped, Kendrick dropped. 20 minutes later.
20 minutes later,
and
he
what
was
happened?
waiting for it. And
what was
that
that
was
song
the
about?
song that he started off. Everyone knew he was like Dear Adonis. He came for the angle that hurt Drake more. He went for his family. And the song title name was Meet the Grandhams. And that is Drake's last name, if you guys don't know, Albert Graham. And he said, meet his family. And the one thing that caught everybody's surprise, he claims that Drake has a daughter.
Yeah, and see that now is like that was like when you start. He actually not just that. He just starts putting in the seed of doubt in other people about his integrity. He has a
Exactly.
conversation with his mother, with his father. I mean, he just killed it because it wasn't aggressive. It was a conversation like you and I said, hey man, let me tell you about your son. Your son is this, your son's that. Let me tell you about.
And one thing I'm gonna add to that is that he was talking about how it was like Adonis, like I want you to know, like your father doesn't have to be you. And I think like as a son, like if somebody else told me that, I would
Forget
feel
the son.
personal.
As a father,
I would feel like
I was hurting for Drake because he started the song and said, "I'm sorry that this man is your father."
Your
If you start
father.
with that, I'd be like, "Man, you." I don't care what Drake will say. That hurts. That will
Hurts.
piss anybody off. Or hurts, and like you wanna go and kill somebody.
Yeah, I mean, he got so personal. And he took an angle that, everyone didn't even expect, and he went in straight for like the Dear Adonis, talking about his family, talking about his mom, his dad.
So that's a
and it's
strategy to
crazy.
defuse the other bomb because nobody started talking about the other song. Everybody talked about this song,
And then the problem was, this is like speculation that was going on that they were like the rap beef that it was like, oh, but Drake made a hit, so Family Matters and Push Ups were on billboards, and Kendrick was the only one that didn't really care about billboards, and he didn't care. He just wanted to win. He was like, I actually hate you. And then that's in one of the songs. It's actually funny that I say that because in one of the songs he was like, I hate the way that you talk, the way that you dress, the way that you speak,
really
the
hate.
way that you
It's really
like,
hate.
everything. He was like, this is hate. He was like, the industry is about hate or love. And he was like, and I hate everything about you. He didn't care about I make more numbers than you. He said, I just hate you. And I want you to know that. He was, I'm going to come after your family, you, everything that you stand for. And then people were saying, but Drake is the one making hits. Kendrick went on a beat, really jazzy beat, just
Sick
upbeat.
beat,
And then it
sick
was
beat.
literally, that went number one.
was the number- what was
and
the name
it
of
was,
it?
Not Like Us.
Not like us, and that's
And
when
we
he killed
started
him.
with like a California, like West Coast looking beat, and then it was everybody was talking about. He was like, "This is a hit. This is a hit." Like, and we're not listening to the lyrics. He's calling Drake a pedophile.
He went even deeper.
He went even
he went even deeper. You have pedophiles in your crew. He said, LeBron, make sure you take your kids are not around him.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr, make sure your kids are not around him. Like he started really putting doubt on people's minds about he said
Like Drake couldn't be
his
around
house is gonna be raided, just like Diddy. It was crazy. It's
crazy.
And that song went number one in
Number
Billboard. It's
one.
the fastest
Number one
song in hip hop in history. I think.
That's crazy. Yeah, Kendrick, and literally one of the things was like Kendrick made that hit, and it was literally just going in on Drake, just saying like he's a pedophile. The people in his camp, it was like you're not a good person, like everything, and still. This is all going back to like the marketing genius that they are, just
Exactly.
pushing that. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Like we would never expect this. You would never expect a Kendrick and Drake beef.
And then Drake made a great mistake by dropping the last song. He dropped the song, and he started to the beat was slow, a little bit slow.
Yeah.
And he was just not backtracking, but he was justifying. He was
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not this, I'm not that. I'm actually a great father. I'm
Yeah,
actually, if I
was-
was doing all this stuff, I would have been in jail already. So it was a complete mistake, because instead of creating something new, he would just try to defend himself.
Yeah, and that's when people saw like there's nothing else.
And what was the end? At the end, what did he say?
At the end, he posted on an Instagram story, and he was like, he was like, great vibes, starting the summer off.
No, at the end of that song, he talks about, it's a great exercise.
I'm saying, yeah, and then he also posted on an Instagram story that people were like, he kind of waved the white flag. He was like, he literally said he was like, great vibes, great start of the summer. He was like on to bigger and better projects. So
at the end of the song, he just said like, hey, you can have 10 more songs. I'm not going to
he's
respond to you
done.
because
He didn't
you're
wanna
going
respond.
you're talking nonsense.
yeah,
So if you want to talk the truth, then you come back to tell the truth. But if you keep talking nonsense, I'm not going to argue with you.
And Kendrick said from the very start, this is the line that everyone was talking about. It was like, don't spread lies about me, and I won't tell truths about you. And that
It's
was
a hard
like,
line. It was
a hard line.
So let me break it down, because I think this is an important lesson for every single one of us. And I know if you guys are hearing about this, you probably think, what does this have to do with the King's Court podcast? What does this have to do with
anything, yeah.
I'm not into the songs. Well, this is the art of war, right? The first rule is have your enemy underestimate you. If your enemy underestimate you, then you have the upper hand. The second one is disarm your enemy. Disarm your enemy. Put doubt. Put seed of doubt in his mind that who is he counting on? Who are his counsel? And then we start putting seed, he starts reacting. And the third is have your enemy react as opposed to be proactive. And then once you have a weakness, which he followed it right from the book, then is you take the kill shot. You take the kill shot. You can't just go slow. Now you go all in, and then you make it even more personal. And then when he's down, you continue to eliminate him until nothing is left. And that's what Kendrick did.
He did.
You don't stop until the white flag. You don't stop until so a lot of mistakes that we make in competition is like, no, you already won. Go ahead. No, he's gonna come back stronger.
As soon as you
let him that extra inch.
If you just give that like little space for him, people will capitalize on it. That you give that little space of weakness, people will capitalize on it. And one of the biggest takeaways that I have from Kendrick and Drake is the fact that they were willing to have this competitiveness, because the music industry was getting stale and no one was really enjoying it. So this really showed the competitiveness of people being number one. Like they want to have that number one title and to prove to themselves that they're the best lyricists, they're the best artists out there. And it was nothing like a good old
competition
rap
brings
battle.
the best and the worst in people.
It does.
Just know that we need competition in order for us to continue to
grow,
and
100%.
strive.
Yeah.
So great. It's a great recap. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Hope you
Again,
guys
I'm going
enjoy it.
back to Tupac and Biggie. We lost the two great ones in the last beef. Thank God nobody died
Nobody
in this
got
one.
hurt.
Everybody said their feelings might gotten hurt. But it's
Yeah.
okay. They're going to live. They live with it. So continue to follow us, King Tool Podcast. Learn it, live it, experience it.
Love life.
Love life.